Hello ladies, it's Stella from England. I'm just going to talk about my tea dyeing of paper. For those of you that have never made a junk journal before, somebody was asking the other day, where do I start? Well, obviously you can start wherever you want to start, but I always start with the papers. And I like to tea dye my papers, or sometimes coffee dye them. And this is the result I get. You've seen them before, but some of these are very dark and grungy looking. I like them like that very much. You can also have them just very muted, just a very faint colour. I'm going to show you how I do this, and it's very simple, so anybody can do it. Don't be put off. I usually do them 4 at a time, and the paper I use is thicker than usual. So I use this paper, HP Colour Choice, and I buy the 100 gram one, which is thicker than normal copy of paper. And the reason I do that is because it's easier to work with, and it's also stronger when you come to be adding pockets and other things, embellishments onto it. It's definitely stronger and thicker. So I do 4 at a time. 3, 4. So I start off with 4 white sheets and an old meat tin. Well, not so old, I actually cook in this. Now this one has got quite a strong coating on it, so when I do the dyeing in here, I'll get the pale result. And so I put the paper in, and in this jug over here I've got a mixture of tea, including the tea bags, and this is something I've collected over the last few days from my teapot. I just pour it into there, the last little bits, and add a bit of water to it. And the tea bags, they're still in there as well. So there's the paper, and I put some in like that. And then make sure it's all covered. And then I'll put another one in. So I'll do 2 in here, and then I'll do 2 in the other one to show you. Okay, so they'll come out quite pale. I'm going to leave those to steep for about a quarter of an hour. Now to make the very grungy ones, I use this tin, which it is clean because it gets washed almost every day. I know it looks rather odd, but this is all seasoning from the meat and other deposits. So this time I'm going to put the paper in, and I'll put the paper in dry. And now I'm going to put the tea in. And this time I'm going to add a tea bag. So I'll squeeze the tea out of it, and then I usually put it in one of the corners. And here comes number 2. Okay, and that's raised the corner where that tea bag is. So that will also give a pattern when it dries. So I get another tea bag, and I squeeze it out, and then I put it in that corner, and then I usually do 4. So let's have a look. I'll do one more in here. I'm running out of tea now, you see. Well, I can squeeze a bit more out of this one. And then when that happens, I go to the teapot, this morning's cup of tea, and I can get a bit more out of that. Now, that's fine, but I haven't finished yet. I like to add some coffee. So that's my favourite coffee. Instant coffee. I don't like real coffee because it's too bitter for me. And I found by looking in the supermarket that this, although it's my favourite, is also the cheapest. Woohoo! And so I'm going to add some coffee like so. Never need more than 1 spoonful. And some water. So it's well steeped now. It's all covered. And I'm going to leave that there for a quarter of an hour. And then I'll come back to it. Right, so now the papers have been steeping in the tea for nearly 20 minutes. Now I'm going to pour the tea off into the sink, which you won't see. But you probably heard. And I'm leaving the tea bags in there. That's one. And now I'll do the other one. This is the one that's just tea. Right, so I haven't touched the papers, because if I touch the papers they might well start to disintegrate. With the 100-gram paper that's unlikely, but it definitely happens with the ordinary copier paper. Now I've put the oven on to lowest setting. I've got a gas oven, so there's a naked flame in there, so you have to be very careful that you don't get the paper near the naked flame, otherwise you'll set the house alight. Now I'm going to put the papers in the oven for 1 hour. I'm going to set my timer so I don't forget. In fact, I do it just a little bit less than an hour. So there we are. So an hour will now pass by, and then I'll take them out and show you the result. Okay, so I've cooked the paper. The paper's come out of the oven. Now let's see what we've got. So this is just the tea dyed. And as you can see, it's quite pale. Now that now needs ironing. So I'll iron that with my steam iron on the highest setting, and that will then be nice and flat. And when it is, I'll be able to fold it over and then as a page. And while we're on the subject, when you count your pages, this is the way to do it. 1, 2, 3, 4. So each sheet of paper is 4 sides, or 4 pages, because when you look at a book, that's what you see. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so that's the tea dyed. these are the others. When you take it out of the oven, sometimes the tea bags are still wet, and I've got a perfect example here where I've got a torn hole. That's okay because these are the grungy ones. As you can see, they're a lot more grungy. And the one at the bottom is usually the best. So there we are. We've got this lovely rusty looking finish. So I'll leave those to finish drying and then I'll iron them and then they'll be usable. Now that would be the start of your junk journal. And for the Treasure Island challenge, which we're now on to week 8, I decided to start again. So this would be week 1 for those of you who like the videos better. And week 1 we'll be making the pages. So you need to make 12 pages like this with the tea dye or coffee dye if you prefer it. Tea dye them, cook them, dry them, iron them, fold them, and then we're ready for stage 2. So I'm calling this week 1 of the Treasure Island journal, which is going to take you through from start to finish of making a junk journal. Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel and click on the like button underneath. If you want to leave a comment, that will be very welcome as well. Thank you very much. Bye bye.